Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, good morning, everyone. We're starting out the week strong. Well, Bitcoin is up. Most of the altcoins are up. So let's talk about how we're coiling up for a massive breakout for not only Bitcoin, but for the entire market. Let's talk about it, and let's talk about some other things that I want to share. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. Take a look. Bitcoin since yesterday or since last night been going upwards. I don't know what it is. Every Sunday, it seems like every Sunday afternoon, nighttime is when Bitcoin dips a little bit. So it did not surprise me at all that it happened yesterday. So if you're leverage trading, watch out because Sundays is usually down. And then Monday, we recover right back up. And we're looking stronger this morning. Most crypto are in green. And can we make that breakout this week? Well, I got some things to share. First of all, I did notice this, and this is not a good thing. Not at all. The U.S. national debt is above 34 trillion. Right on top, very left-hand side, 34 trillion, 205 billion. 86,436,000, and it's counting really fast. Why is this important? Well, because Powell, our Fed in the U.S., did a 60 minutes interview and vowed that he will proceed carefully with interest rate cuts this year, right? Now, we do have a lot of data, CPI, PCE, and a few other things that measure inflation. But until this gets stopped and we start reversing, we're going to have inflation forever because we can't pay off the interest as a country and we have to borrow more, which means that debt goes higher, right? That's just how it is. Or we print more money, which makes the debt go higher again. So, Powell could do what he can. But inflation is going to keep on going. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep robbing people of their wealth over time, and it's going to add up tremendously. But near term, because of what he said, analysts are predicting that in March, there's a very little chance. In fact, that's not that bad. It's better than I expected. 70.5% chance that Powell, regardless of what he said, he will cut rate, well, the very first one, 0.25 basis points, 0.25% in March. Although, if it doesn't happen, that's okay because it's predicted 56% chance if he doesn't cut in March, it'll be in May. And then if you look at it, because you could go and look at predictions all the way until December, in June, we have a 50% chance to get another 25% cut. Okay, and then it just starts going down. And then in July, we may get another 25 basis point cut, 41%. And, it's going to start escalating. What did I say about this year? It's election year, okay? Powell is going to be forced. Look at that. By November, we may have cut up to 0.75% or 1% from where we are now. This year is an election year, and Powell's under a lot of pressure to make markets look good, regardless if inflation is high or not. He's going to cut. But if he starts in May, which is just basically weeks after the halving event, it's going to be tremendous. Markets are going to fly high, okay, starting in May. I think I predicted it'd probably be like July, but May, there's a big gap between March and May, right? Two months span. So it could happen. But we have a little chance that in March it could happen too. I doubt it though. I doubt it. But we'll see. Regardless, I think rate cuts are going to be a huge catalyst for this year. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin, yet it does, because when the market starts blowing up, when money is like, everyone's making money hand over fist, especially in Wall Street, they're going to want to put money into other assets like crypto, especially now because we have spot ETFs, and it's going to be glorious. We're going to have money swirling around left and right. It's going to be awesome. So that's coming. That's coming. And after the halving event, Bitcoin will be scarcer than gold. The inflation rate of Bitcoin will be cut in half in April, in case you still don't understand the concept. Right now, only about 900 Bitcoins get mined per day. After the halving event, only 450 will be mined per day. So the inflation rate of Bitcoin is being cut in half, and it is going to make it super, super scarce for any new Bitcoin to come and release into the market. The miners, are you going to eat it up? Or the exchanges or BlackRocks of the world, they're going to be eating it up. And let's not forget Robinhood and Cash App and PayPal, these fintech companies, they're eating it up too. They're selling Bitcoin. Where are they getting it from, right? Either from the miners themselves or from the exchanges, like Coinbase, who has an enormous amount of Bitcoin to sell until they don't. That's just how it's going to be. So inflation, scarcity is going to play a big role, of course, this year. I think it's going to be a tremendous. I can't express myself anymore. I just think it's going to be so bullish, especially second half of this year. I think you guys will see that. Right now, it's looking good. We've kind of stalled a little bit, but man, I think the second half of this year is going to be so pumpish, which is not a word, but I just created that. There's going to be so many pumps second half this year. Okay, but before we get to that, even this last month, January, Bitcoin saw its highest monthly volume since September of 2022. And why is that? Because the big boys like BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK and Van Eyck and everyone else, they saw massive inflows of Bitcoin into their funds. Massive. Despite the fact that Bitcoin stalled out and Grayscale was still selling hundreds of billions of dollars of Bitcoin per day. Even despite Grayscale doing that, the others soaked it up. That's how strong the market is. When you have someone that dumped $6 billion worth of Bitcoin and Bitcoin didn't flinch, didn't do anything, and just kept going sideways, that shows you how strong the market is. And speaking of BlackRock and Fidelity, their ETFs are among the highest net flows of all ETFs in existence. That shows you how strong they are. Okay, it's already outstanding. This is how much interest there is from the institutional big boys, right? Again, Grayscale sold about $6 billion. Okay, the Friday hasn't been accumulated, but we'll see. But I'm sure it's going to be close to $6 billion. BlackRock already accumulated more than $3 billion. Fidelity probably more than $2.8 billion by this point. And ARK and Bitwise, they're closing in at $700 billion or $700 million. They're going to get to $1 billion soon. So the market is being eaten up within 2 weeks. 1,500. No, not 1,500. $15 billion worth of Bitcoin has been taken off the market and is now held by these funds. I mean, that's during a pretty quiet time. So just compute that for a second. This is when Bitcoin is going sideways, around 42, 43,000. Now imagine when we're breaking upwards to 48 again, 50, and then we're breaking up to 70, and then we break up to 100. Imagine how much FOMO there will be compared to where it is now, just in a stale period, right? Again, I think people are massively underestimating how much these ETFs will contribute to the pumps that are coming. The FOMO doesn't just come from retail. They're going to come from institutions. Institution FOMO, you could argue, are 1,000 times more bullish than retail because they have 1,000 times to 1,000,000 times more money that could be coming in, right? That's short term. We all look forward to that. We want everyone to buy. Long term, it's horrible because these big guys with 1,000,000 times more money, they will be locking up all the Bitcoin. You don't want that to happen because by then, Bitcoin will be over $1 million when you try to DCA. You don't want to let that happen. There's still time to buy cheap Bitcoin, which is where it is now. Anytime we're below all-time high, I'd say it's cheap. I think that's a really good rule of measure. But you got other countries too. Hong Kong is trying to approve spot ETFs. South Korea is going to discuss spot ETFs with Gary Gensler. Not sure that's a good idea. South Korea has threatened that a lot of their institutions are going to be buying spot Bitcoin ETF from the US. So they want to ask Gary for his opinion. So they may be opening up their spot ETFs too. It's all coming. It's not just US, worldwide. There's going to be FOMO everywhere from retail to whales to institutions. That's coming this year. There's no stopping this. It's not going to be stopped. All right. Now as for some technicals, here's a breakout on the 4-hour time scale, which is of course good, but of course every Sunday we seem to have that breakdown and then we break above. But the next stop is getting back to where we were, around 49,000. And if you look at this, yeah, that's an inverse head and shoulders. So normally when you see a head and shoulders pattern, all the TA guys will say, well, look at it, it's going to dump. It's going to dump. Well, no one really talks about the inverse head and shoulders, which is obviously what that looks like right now. So if we do get that next breakout, that massive breakout, it'll first be back to our 49,000 mark, and then we'll be above 50. And then it's going to get really, really interesting. We're going to start moving up really quickly because if you look at the levels above 50,000, they start jumping really quickly. We were not at 69,000 that long. Most of the time we spent was in the 50,000s back in 2021 and parts of 2022. So once we break 50s, that's when things will get really, really exciting and we could start moving up really quickly after that, especially the FOMO building with the ETFs. It's going to be awesome. Of course, we are only 68 days away from the halving event. Okay. Less than 3 months. Pretty soon, less than 2 months. And if you look at where we are now versus before, only 2021 or 2020, we had a little deviation because we had the COVID crash. But if you ignore that dump, you would have seen that Bitcoin was just going sideways, right? And then afterwards, it started going up. Just like 2016 started going up. We started going up. We're going to hit that halving event, right? And then what's going to happen? We're going to start going up. Again, it's like clockwork. But this time around, we have many catalysts like the rate cuts, like the ETFs. They're going to be big, big catalysts to drive us forward, right? And then lastly, again, after having it, I could show a million of these that show how bullish it's going to be after a halving event, a major catalyst of any 4-year cycle. And you guys lived through it. We're finally there, okay? I've been talking about it since 2020, after our last halving event. And then 2021, 2022, 2023. I'm like, look forward to the next one. And before, when I talk about it, it would be years. Now we're like 2 months away, okay? It's here again. We lived through another cycle. It's going to be tremendously good. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? Well, Chainlink is having a really good day. And not only that, they're having a really good week. Now, I'm surprised. I was talking in the live chat before I started that I said, I've been doing Sunday walks for a while. And I moved it to Cryptos R Us Plus. Yet there's people that still are flabbergasted. Like, oh, you have another channel? Although I've been talking about it for months upon months now. Anyways, go subscribe if you haven't. Yesterday's Sunday walk video, I talked about changing my mind at one crypto that I'm now super bullish on because of CCIP. And guess what? Guess what crypto that is? Yeah, it's Chainlink. And then it went up another 10% after I said that. But I did want to do something different in that video for those of you guys that actually watched it and watched it till the very end of the video. I posted a chart and I'm like, all right, since I want to do new ideas, I want to get into game show kind of stuff. I posted a chart and said, guess the chart. See how many people could guess the chart. And to my surprise, only 21 people tried. I think most people didn't even know it was there because they didn't watch to the very end. But in case you're wondering, it was Myro. Okay, it was Myro, and I already gave out the $100 that I said I would. But this is what everyone else guessed. But you know, on a video that got 15,000 views, only 21 people guessed. Yeah. So make sure you start watching. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you start watching, not only for the contest, but for the info, because Chainlink did really well. And I think it's going to continue to do well because if you want to know, go watch it. But basically, it's due to CCIP. CCIP is going to be a game changer. Well, it's already out. I don't want to say it's like a new thing. It's out. But now you're starting to see a lot of excitement, like XSwap being developed on it. You got like Swift being developed on it. You got a lot of big corporations and everything within DeFi that are going to be using it. So it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Chainlink broke into the top 10 and they're probably going to stay there. And the whales are now buying. I mean, Chainlink has been around for a long time, but they just never looked as good because they were always so boring. But CCIP changed that. You got a lot of whales that are buying a lot of links left and right. So pretty bullish on Link. All right, outside of Chainlink, you got some good movers today. A lot of greens today. So that's good. Yeah, a lot of greens today. All right, that's it. Let's do some Q&A. Jordan, took me an hour of looking at charts. I used a 4-hour chart right before the video. And here's another hint. Because, see, this is another reason why you need to follow my X. Because I posted a leverage trade on Myro that day, yesterday. And I did very well because Myro came back up. That was another hint. But anyways, I thought there would be more guesses. Just a lot of people didn't watch to the very end of the video. All right, let me scroll through a chat here. Let's see what I missed. Robert Kiyosaki saying market crash in March of 2024 certainly won't happen this year. It may happen next year, but it's not happening this year. This year, we're going to get those rate cuts. We're going to see the market explode upwards. For all things, it's going to happen. Mari Red says, good morning, Georgia. The reason I'm so bullish, even though the market is down, DCA, keep buying. Your positive energy keeps me going. Thanks. Thank you. But I truly believe that. I really believe that. Tanya, new member. Squared. I am George Squared. Big. Thank you. What else is there? What odds do you give us going into a super cycle? I don't know if we're ready for that, but the big institutions definitely increased the odds massively. In 2021, I would have said there was zero chance of a super cycle. Now, I would give us maybe a 33% chance of a super cycle. Because I just see a lot of these big institutions, once they buy in, they're not going to try to time it. They're not going to say, oh, it's end of 2025, I better sell off, right? As long as Bitcoin keeps doing well, they're going to buy more. And if they're buying and holding and retail's buying and holding and no one is really selling, then we may have a correction, but we may not have that massive correction, right? And we just keep on going. So, I mean, I think the chances now are better than ever before. if I had to guess, maybe a 33%, which is pretty good. But I still think there will be whales that probably try to dictate and try to bring things down. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe everyone's making so much money that... Oh, Jordan, it was you. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that you guessed and then you didn't get it. But good for you. See? Proof. Thank you. Well, thank you for playing and good job. Because it took forever for, I mean, people were just throwing guesses like Solana and Avalanche and they weren't even trying. Joe Rogan coin launch yesterday. That can't be real, so don't fall for it. Kuji broke TVL once again. More than injective and many. Are you sure about that? I don't know. Well, first of all, Kujira is within Cosmos ecosystem. Still relatively small. They haven't really broken out recently. They're... That's a very cute picture, by the way. Yeah, that's not more than injective. I mean, it's not bad, 118 million. Oh, wow. It did. I don't know. This sounds off. It doesn't sound right. That injective only has 42 million. Let's check. I don't know why it's that. It doesn't know. Osmosis, 215. So Osmosis is still the big one, but Kujira bigger than. I don't think that's right. I don't think it calculated injective right. Injective is a lot more than that, but we'll give it to Kujira. Not bad. Not bad. Could be a good play. Under 400 million still. You're welcome, Jordan. No problem. I'm going to do a lot more of that. So in case you guys missed the Sunday walk video with the chart guess, you better watch more of it. And I'm going to do other stuff too. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I want to do a lot more stuff. Let's see. Ed, I sold all my ETH, Sol, and all meme coins went into BTC. Thoughts? I'm not sure that's a great play. I wouldn't do that. There's nothing wrong with holding all Bitcoin, but obviously you're not a Bitcoin maxi. So, but you just converted to become a Bitcoin maxi. Not sure what caused you to do that, but yeah, I mean, I'm big on Sol. I could see why you did it with ETH and memes. I think memes, if you hold the good ones, they're long-term holds. So, I mean, it's up to you, man. It's up to you. ID2. Oh, by the way, I started watching Ted Lasso on Apple TV. Because I heard so many good things about it. It starts out dirt slow, really, really slow. But if you could get past like the first 3 episodes, then it starts picking up. But so far, so good. It's weird because it seems like it's a family show, but then you really can't watch it with the kids because there's too many sexual references and stuff like that. It's so it's weird. It's not really a kids show at all. A lot of swearing and stuff too. But then it's a little bit boring for like younger people. So it's like I don't know how that show. Maybe it's different later, but it's weird the way it's starting out. ID2 morning link short and long-term price predictions. I closed out my link. I closed out my link long this morning because it looked like it's topped out temporarily. But I made I made a good amount this morning, like 120 something percent. You know, if you look at the chart for Link, it does look like it needs to take a breather. It's a little bit too high. So if you look at the 1 hour, like right here, you can see RSI and stochastic both topped out. But because it's so hot, it's holding really well. But I would wait until the 1 hour comes down and then get into the leverage if you're going to leverage, or just buy it. But long-term Chainlink looks very promising. There's no reason why they can't. You know, no reason why they can't do a 10x and get to 100 billion. No reason why. Especially when I said Solana could do it. And if Solana's going to be at 420 billion, then Chainlink can certainly be at 110 billion. There's no doubt about it. Will China market crash cause us to crash? I don't know. I think it's only going to help Bitcoin. Because think about it, all the wealthy in China, where are they going to try to do? How are they going to try to preserve their wealth? They're going to try to buy as much gold as they can, and a lot of them will try to buy Bitcoin. So, I don't think so. It might cause U.S. markets to crash, but like, I don't know. I think this year, Powell's going to do whatever he can to make the markets, the equities market, blow up for the presidential election. So I don't think anything's going to stop that. And if we do see a massive dip, what's going to happen? He's going to start cutting rates faster. I think that's what's going to happen. Hey, George, which league are you playing in? I'll just say it's more than 6. Blake, Jordan in his chat, he confirmed that he won. I have no idea who it is. I just know the address. It'll be funny if someone actually guesses it right but gives me the wrong address. That would be very bad. Kulo Pump will hit 100 million. I certainly hope so. They started coming up a little bit, so that's good. Some of the memes came up. Myro recovered, but not all the way. They're still like really off from their high, but Myro at least recovered a little bit. Kulo's recovering a little bit. Cock has not started yet, but Snek is holding. A lot of memes are starting to hold, find their ground, and when the bull market comes, or the parabolic market comes, they're all going to start going crazy. Do you believe the most bullish scenario, Cock can hit 25 billion market cap, considering Doge hit 88 and Shiba at 44? I mean, you could say Cock could hit 88 billion too. Why stop at 25 billion? Anything could happen. What's your take on Litecoin these days? A lot of people saying it's a shitcoin. I've been saying that since 2018, man. It's not a shitcoin. It's just that there's no reason to be holding Litecoin. Zero. If you want to store value, Litecoin is a cheap man's version of Bitcoin. Why not just hold Bitcoin? So it's like there's no good reason to hold Litecoin. It doesn't out appreciate Bitcoin. You make less money by holding Bitcoin. So why would you hold Litecoin? I mean, it's just that simple. It's not like there's inherently anything wrong with the tech. It's just that it's not better than Bitcoin. If it out appreciates Bitcoin, then great, but it doesn't. Which is a bigger shitcoin, XRP or Litecoin? I'll be honest, if I had to choose between the two, I would probably hold that XRP. over Litecoin because I just don't see Litecoin having a massive breakout. But I don't see XRP having a massive breakout too anytime soon. But still, I'd probably hold XRP over Litecoin. Will you ever make a meme called George and you? Probably not. I'm really tempted to create a meme on Solana, but I don't think I would. I don't want that. I might, if I do, I would hold 99% of supply and only release 1%. And then it'll be so scarce, you can't even, there can't be any manipulation because only 1% is out on the market. I might just do something extreme like that. But again, I don't think I'm going to do that. Terry says, XRP a long hold, but I'm losing patience. You know, I'm not trying to shit on XRP, but, you know, it formed its high in January 2018, and it's been just doing this over the years. Like, in 2021, it did not break out into new high, and I don't think it's going to break out a new high this cycle either. No, I'm not a coder. I actually attended college for computer science, and then after 2 years, I realized it was too much for me. So I'm like, no, no thanks. Kyle posts, I'd like to know who you are and what your relation is to Karate Combat. Because, you know, now that I have channel activity in live chat, I looked at all of your comments before, and every single one is about Karate Combat and Karate Token. So I could actually see it now. Every single comment you have is about Karate Combat. So not that I have anything against them, but I just want to know like what your deal is. But yes, the IFC is happening this month in a couple weeks. And everyone's still set to fight. So there's still like little details that need to be figured out. But yeah, soon you'll be able to see all the IFC fighters on the app, and it'll be like real. Like you could actually bet on them with karate tokens. It's gonna be pretty cool. Blockchain Biker. Pendle has been on has been on a tear for over a year constantly. You know, a lot of people, I started researching Pendle. They're like a really strange DeFi play. Like you can tokenize future yield of certain projects and then sell that token and leverage that token too. It's like a weird thing. But they are cross-chained, and they seem to be just going up and up and up in a really unusual pattern. Seems like there's some hype around it. I don't know. Some people say it's being manipulated. Some people say no. I only see people say it's being manipulated. So I don't know. I don't know if it actually is real growth or not. But yeah, that's all I can say about it. I don't know how else to explain why it just keeps going up. Kyle, that's never going to happen. I'm never going to get in the pit and fight. Would you have more AVAX or Chainlink? I have equal, to be honest. Like of both. Chainlink has definitely been stronger recently, and you can see it's right behind Avalanche. But I think Avalanche is going to have certainly a good cycle too. So I'm pretty equal. But right now, I recognize Chainlink has all the momentum. Fudd says, what's your analytics about me? Going back. I don't know. You're all over the place. You've been a long-term watcher for sure. But yeah, you're all over the place. In a good way. In a good way, not in a bad way. You're asking random questions. When are you having a drink in Netherlands? You know what? I don't know how many of you guys are going to Paris Blockchain Week in April. I might be going there. So if I'm going there, I may throw a small shindig there. Small network event. If I am going, but a project seems to be wanting to pay for me to go out there. So I haven't been to Paris in so long. It may happen. Thoughts on ADA's price this cycle at its peak? I don't know. It got to $4 once. So can it get back up there? I think so. That's less than 10x. So after it hit $4, can it go to like $8? Possibly. Can it go to $10? Possibly. I'd say maybe if it picks up, but Cardano is just so boring. So I don't know. I don't know if it could do $10. Maybe like $5, $6, $7. Paris, France. Where else is there Paris? It's changed. Is it changed in a good way or a bad way? Do you care about short-term capital gains, Jose? No, that never crosses my mind. Because I think it's silly. If you're going to make a move, right, whatever a move you're going to make, if it turns out to be correct, it's going to offset any short-term capital gains. It doesn't matter. And I think people just don't use deductions well enough, or they don't know how to do it. But, you know, open up a company, open up a LLC, and, you know, get some deductions going. Write some stuff off, right? Then you don't have to be so worried about taxes. If 3 bull run peaks, wait, okay, if the bull run peaks in 2025, wouldn't it be worth going all in now for long-term gain taxes? I've been saying that, DL, for a long time. Well, I've been all in for so many years, so I'm just like all in all the time. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying how bullish I think 2024 is going to be and how bullish things will be after the halving event. That's not going to change. I mean, you just look at this. You show this to someone new that has no idea about Bitcoin or crypto, and you show them this, and you ask them, is this a good time to buy, do you think? What do you think they're going to say? You just base on history. Well, you look at where we are before the halving, what happens after the halving, this would be the optimal time to be buying, right? Well, obviously, the best time to be buying is the bottom, around 15,000, 16,000. I was saying the same thing. I'm like, you're looking at Bitcoin at 77% off at the time. But, you know, no one wants to buy when it's at the bottom. Everyone seems to want to buy after you get confirmation, like, recovering, but I get it. You know, it's hard to know where bottom is. And if you go back to my videos back then, I said you never know until enough time has passed, then you know, right? So when we're recovering from 16,000 back to 20, 25, people are still calling for a new low. And you can't guarantee there wouldn't be a new low. And I just said, you have to have enough time to have passed to know that, okay, that was bottom, right? At this point in time now, at 42,000, no one is saying we're going to form a new low back to, 13 or 11,000, right? These are just look silly. So now we have 100% confirmation that was our bottom. But again, if you just DCA over long haul, you don't really have to worry about it. You just keep on averaging. Not one time in my mind did I think Paris, Texas. Of course, when I think Paris, it's going to be in France. It's not going to be Paris, Texas. And Paris Blockchain Week is certainly not in Texas. Virgil, stop adding cryptos or us. Do I see a total market cap hitting 10 trillion? Yes. Yes, I do. I've said that before. I think 10 trillion is maybe too conservative. I think this time around we could see like 15 trillion. Keep in mind, the overall market cap of crypto is highly inflated. So some of you guys may be thinking, well, 15 trillion is way too high, especially these projects don't have a lot of usage yet, a lot of dApps. It doesn't matter. Crypto is highly speculative. The market cap is way bigger than it seems, but that's just how it is. And it's always been like that. And it will be the same time this cycle too. Mark, there's no way you've been watching me since 10 years ago because I wasn't streaming 10 years ago. So there's no way. Clay says, I used to hate meme coins, but I made so much more than my long-term hold in such a short amount of time. I told you, Clay. Meme coins get a bad rep, and I get it, because most of them are pump and dumps, they'll dump to zero. But if you actually pay attention, there are a lot of projects, a lot of leaders that are developing them to better the ecosystem now. And they're not rugs. And they're, a lot of them are fair launch. They burned their initial liquidity. And, a lot of them are actually trying to be good, like trying to be a legit project, and then they try to build utility afterwards. But the thing with memes is they have huge potential, If you just risk, I'm not saying to go all in, but if you risk like just a little bit, it can make a big difference in your portfolio. But again, results vary. A lot of people go into heavy, into a lot of memes and lose a lot. But if you do a small amount and it pays off, great. We have seen stories where $1,000 ends up being $5 million. Something like that. It's just nuts. Mr. Nice GB, appreciate that. Appreciate it. Hard to buy when you're broke, according to Crypto Pooper. Well, go figure out not to be broke, I guess. Go get a side gig. Go start arbitraging, selling online. A lot of people are selling stuff, doing affiliate stuff for TikTok now. Like 1/3 of the videos on TikTok are affiliate videos, and a lot of them are killing it because they know how to make good videos that seem like they're normal videos, but they're really affiliate videos. There's so many ways to make money, even at home, without even leaving the comforts of your home. You just have to put some time and effort into it. Thank you, Retro Bill. Although I never watch any of Lark's content. I haven't seen any of it. He has changed over the years, that's for sure. Do you still support BMX? Yes. Yes, I do. Defeasy, that's not true. In fact, I'll share this story that I just heard recently. Yeah, of course, the developers make billions. You know, a lot of you guys know Sheeb, right? So, Patty Stash, someone I met while filming on crypto, the next crypto gem, he used to be associated with Suka. But he was also going to fight in the IFC against Ben, but then he had to pull out due to health reasons. But he shared a story. He got into Sheeb when it was sub 100,000 market cap. He found it. I don't know how. He thought it was great. He put a lot of money in. Then later on, he saw a lot of fishiness that he didn't like the Vitalik burning and stuff, how the team took credit for doing that on purpose, but yet it was just accidental and stuff. Like, he was sharing some stuff. Basically, he dumped the entire bag. Had he not dumped, he said that would be worth like 50 million plus. And that's now, that's not even at peak. If it was at peak, it would be over like $1 billion. And he made money, but he lost out on all that potential gains. He was not a founder. He just somehow got associated with it. And I remember when she was coming up, there was one person in particular in my Discord that came in and told everyone about it. And I remember, I think I got in when it was at like a few million. I made some money on Sheep too. Like, I got in when it was like 1 to 2 million, I think, market cap. And then it, you know, again, so you can make some serious money from memes, but it's once, you know, it's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing. The alleys, George, Virtual Bacon called you a major influencer the other day. Great. Thank you, I guess. A lot of people have been saying really good things about him. I'd like to meet him one day and talk with him. Retro Bill, you guys need to stop it, all right? I'm never going to get into the pit. I have 2 bad legs. I'm out of shape. Never gotten a fight in my life. 0 chance I ever fight anyone in the pit in karate combat. So, way too old to be training for that. Thoughts on Zen crypto? I don't know. Someone asked me about it the other day. I can't say anything about Zen. I just don't know enough about it. Can you check out Chirply? That just sounds like a meme. $5 million in market cap. Nano equals mega. Get in touch with their audience using micro and nano influencers. That just sounds like not a good idea. First, automated peer-to-peer all-in-one influencer marketplace specifically focused on nano and micro influencers. Why would you focus on nano and micro influencers? That concept doesn't make sense. That's like saying, let's concentrate on influencers with 1,000 followers. How's that gonna get you attention? Let's see. Do you think karate will explode like sheep? No, it's not going to explode like sheep, but I think it will do very well as more people pay attention to their fights, and hopefully IFC does well, then I think it will blow up. I don't know, to sheep level, because sheep got to like 40 billion. That would be crazy. What about the Binance FUD and CZ resignation? Is it safe to leave funds in it? Are you talking about Binance.com or Binance.us? I mean, I don't think either one. Binance.com certainly isn't going to go away. It's still the biggest DEX on the planet by far. It's not even close. Binance.us has shrunk significantly, but it's still there. I don't think it's going to go under Again, asterisk, knock on wood, I don't know. I still have a little amount of SOL on my Binance account. I don't know. I just, it's a risk. Let's just put it that way. It's a risk, but I just don't see it going anywhere. Have I seen GME on Solana? Yes. I would not get into that. That's not created by the original guy. It has nothing to do with GME. And it has dumped. It has dumped already since it's ooh, that was Karate Combat. Oh, no, not anymore. I think too many people fell for this thinking, oh, this is a GameStop thing or a GME movement or whatever. I don't think it is. It's just someone created a GME and then it caught a lot of hype. It's actually holding a lot better than I thought. I thought it would be like back below 10 million now. So I wouldn't fall for this. Unless somehow Wall Street Bets or whoever the main person comes out and says this is the official GameStop token or something. I don't know. And that movement is over. Who even talks about the GameStop movement anymore? That was so 2020. This is Christopher Ball. I could see your chat comments, and the only 4 comments you ever talked about was GameStop. So obviously you came in here to shill GameStop, and that's it. You're not a regular. You're in here trying to shill GameStop. That's your only purpose. And because of that, you're getting banned from this channel. See, this chat activity thing that YouTube added is awesome. Now you could tell for sure if someone's just coming in here to shill or someone in here is actually a long-time watcher. It's a really good tool. All right, I think that's long enough. Yeah, so overall, we started a day strong. Now we're coming down a little bit, but that's okay, guys. That's okay, because Powell's going to start cutting in May. We're going to get the halving event in less than 68 days. That breakout is going to happen, and it's going to be massive. And I think it's going to come sooner than expected. So don't get feared out of the market. This is the time to be in. Okay, this is definitely a time to be in. There's a lot of great plays, including Chainlink that I covered today and many others. So make sure you smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.